Hey guys, Jeremy here from Southern Poolscapes. I finally got a chance to sit down at my desk. I've been pretty slammed this last couple weeks out in the field, and I just got a chance to sit down and work on just kind of cleaning up your design based on the last time we met and updating the contract accordingly. And as I was going through the design, there's a couple things I wanted to draw attention to because this might determine how you want to move forward with the enclosure itself. So I'm going to record my screen here so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, guys, so here is your design, and I just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page because when you make design changes, that can absolutely affect other elements of the job. I'm just able to really sit down and really work on this to give you the visual that you need. So there's a few things that we need to discuss with the enclosure and the retention wall because they kind of go hand in hand. So one thing to keep in mind is that the retention wall has to sit on a proper footer. In fact, an enclosure company, any responsible enclosure company, will not install an enclosure unless there's a proper footer because they have to warranty their work, and you can't install an enclosure just on pavers. There has to be a concrete or wall footer. In this case, it would be a wall footer or maybe a combination of the two. So if you look at this wall, as the property drops towards the backyard, the wall gets bigger towards the back end of the pool, and then it terminates over here, right about around this post area, but then we still need a footer that is going to run all the way to the house. So you can't just put these enclosures right on the pavers. There would have to be concrete footer. Now, we can do the concrete footer for you, but you know, when we were doing the initial design, you were saying that you wanted to handle the wall, the footers, things like that. So, but because we changed the design a little bit, I wanted to make sure that there's no surprises for anybody because once again, we can't put an enclosure on pavers. It has to be on a footer. Now that wall will serve as the footer, but that wall is likely going to terminate right here as it becomes level with the ground. But to tell you the truth, you should probably just run those blocks all the way, just trench down and run at least one row of block or pour concrete right here to serve as the balance of the footer that's required. Now we can, once again, we can do that footer for you if you want to handle the wall and just start the wall like right here and then do the wall all the way around. Then we can handle the footer here. It's like $55 a linear foot for footers. And then of course we can handle, and I think you have concrete over here, which would suffice. So we can use that concrete, but we might need to pour some footer like right in here if that concrete doesn't run out as far. And I know it doesn't. So these are things that I wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page of. I know you want a door here too, so I'll put that in here in just, in fact, I'll just put that in there right now so that it's done. So let's hold on one second. Let's go into railings, and I'm just going to put a doorway opening right about here. We'll go like that. Now, when it comes to the doors, the enclosure company is going to confirm with you exactly where you want the doors. So you'll have the ability to point that out to them. Now the other thing that we have to consider is So before we move on to that, so once again, retention wall, you do not want to build a retention wall until after the pool shell is done. So we would come in and we would do the gunite shell of the pool, and then the retention wall has to match the elevation of the pool, and that's extremely important that we do that. Otherwise, your deck is not going to be level, and we're going to have drainage problems. So when you have that wall done, you just want to make sure that it's done by somebody who can match the elevation of the pool, and we can have our project manager out there to meet whoever is going to start that wall. So we can pull some strings or something and make sure that they're level. But I just want to make sure that because we're not handling the wall per your guys' instructions. So, we can't be responsible for somebody else building the wall that's not at the right elevation. So we want to take all the precautions and make sure that we're all on the same page with that. Now, we can do the wall and gunite, and I'm willing to bet that even doing the wall and gunite, even though you're probably going to be recycling some of those blocks that you currently have, it still might be cheaper just to do the wall and gunite, and it'll definitely be done right. So you might want to think about that. I can get you a price, but once again, we need concrete footers where the ground is flat, and then the wall that would pick up right about here would come down, and that would serve as the footer for the enclosure. Now, the other concern that I have is when you decided to change the this panel here, this solid panel, we want to make sure that hold on one second, I'm sorry, phone's ringing. We need the structural support for that panel, and so there would have to be posts in here. You can't cantilever that. There has to be structural posts, like probably right here, which would really be like on the corner of the pool, and then possibly one in the middle. So once again, you can only run these types of roofs so far without needing a structural support. So you can't just use the outside wall of the enclosure as a structural support. All of this needs to be supported. So you see how this roof is terminating right here? There would have to be a post right here that would go right into the beam of the pool. So these all, like, once again, like, I would love to be able to just kind of float that up there and not have anything obstructing your view or your walkways or anything like that. But structurally, you're just not going to be able to run a solid paneled roof without having some type of posts in there. So I want to get your feedback on that. Just so we can, get on the same page. And I wanted, there's going to be, let's see, the enclosure is going to change price just a little bit because we moved it out. So I know that's going to be just a little bit more, not much, but, and then we're adding a third door because I only priced out 2 doors on the first one. So I'm going to work on that, but I wanted to get your feedback on all the other elements like this retention wall and any concrete footers, and then also structural support that would be required for this solid paneled section of the enclosure. So please get back to me. Let me know your thoughts, and then what I'll do by Monday, I'll send you everything all buttoned up. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.